Hi, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about the basic patterns and concepts of development. Child development, it's a journey that everyone goes through, right? We've been children once upon a time, and so we've gone through this journey as well. There's a lot of milestones and transformations that take place during this period. There are a lot of patterns and concepts in child development that are going to help us understand how children grow and change. And these patterns are not just physical. The changes in how tall we get, how long our arms get, that kind of thing. But they're also about how children learn and they adapt and they develop skills over time. So, as we move through the presentation, let's keep in mind how these foundational concepts influence everything from a child's physical growth to their emotional and their cognitive development as well. We'll connect these fundamental ideas to principles and practical examples that are coming up in the slides. So, let's get deeper into the specifics of child growth and development. So, we're going to start by talking about the topic of growth. This focuses on the physical changes that happen as children grow. So, it could include things like the increase in their height, their weight, their head circumference, their shoe size, and even the length of their limbs. So, it's important to understand that these physical changes don't just happen in isolation. They are heavily dependent on many key factors. So, first, of course, a nutritious diet, right? That's crucial. That fuels the body's growth. Second is going to be the nurturing care that comes from the caregivers to provide both emotional and physical support. And also, we need to think about the access to healthcare to ensure that any growth issues are identified and managed properly. Lastly, opportunities for play and physical activity are essential because they stimulate muscle development and coordination. As you can see, all these elements work together to ensure a child's healthy growth, and it's really a holistic process. So, now let's talk a little bit about development. Unlike growth, when we talk about development, it's about increasing in the complexity. Think of it as a journey from simple to complex. This involves learning and refining knowledge, behaviors, and skills that build upon the things that you've previously learned. So, it's a dynamic process that's shaped both by our genetics and our environment. So, this is what we call the balance of nature and nurture. Reflect on these elements, on how these elements interact to create your unique developmental paths, right? We've all had unique developmental paths as we've grown and developed through years. As we explore this a little further, let's think about how each individual's development is kind of woven with their inherent traits along with the external influences. So let's think about continuity or the continuum of development, right? So it's important to think of development as a sequence, right? It follows a specific sequence of skills or area of development, and that creates this continuum. Think of it as a journey where each step is built on the one before it. So, in other words, the child might first learn to grasp a toy, and then that goes into more complex hand eye coordination tasks. So this doesn't happen in isolation. The skills developed in one area is going to influence the growth and development in another. And it creates kind of this web of interconnected progress. This continuity helps us appreciate how each stage is crucial and interconnected. It's a beautiful dance of growing abilities and potential. Understanding typical growth and development is crucial to recognizing how children are going to acquire new skills and behaviors. At its core, growth and development follows that predictable sequence, that continuum we spoke about in the previous slide. This means that certain changes, whether size, neurological structure, or behavioral complexity, they happen in an orderly fashion. One key concept here is that growth builds upon previous growth, much like building blocks. This is why our early interactions in the early years are so important because it sets the foundation for everything that's going to be built on top of it. Remember, these developments result from interactions with the environment and it highlights the significant role that a nurturing and stimulating environment plays into a child's growth and development. By understanding these principles, we can better support children as they navigate their own learning journeys. So let's dive into how interconnected child's development truly is. Every skill that a child learns is impacted and influenced by other areas of development. For instance, in a simple activity such as coloring, a 2-year-old may be coloring a picture with crayons, which means we see their fine motor development, but there's other things happening here. So the child may be coloring alongside others, sharing the tub of crayons. So that makes it not just about physical development, but also an example of social development. And as he describes each item to the teacher, his language skills are being owned. So, beyond these, we see cognitive development unfolding, the child being creative, strategizing, planning what to draw, executing it, right? It's all connected like pieces of a puzzle that come together and form this picture of a well rounded individual. So, let's talk about the journey of brain growth and development. From birth to age 5, think of the brain as being on a fast track. It's growing and evolving really rapidly in these early years. The brain is really hungry for connection and interactions at this time. So every interaction, every new experience is like adding fuel to this incredibly complex engine of development. There are 3 key influences on brain development: genetics, the environment, and the interactions between them. So, your genetics are going to provide your blueprint for how the brain will grow and develop. It's important to acknowledge that adverse conditions can hinder growth, especially in the early years. Understanding these elements helps us understand that, ensure that every child has the best chance for healthy brain development. Let's remember that the experiences that we provide and the environment that we create is crucial in nurturing a young child's brain potential. Now let's take a closer look at atypical growth. This term refers to the development that diverges from typical patterns or may even include developmental delays. It's important to remember that a delay can occur in just one area, like physical development, while other areas like cognitive, language, or social emotional may be progressing typically. Or multiple areas may experience a delay. So think about the factors that can lead to these delays. They can range from genetics, poor health, inadequate nutrition, injuries, or even an environment that doesn't support learning effectively. Understanding these factors helps us create supportive environments and provide interventions, ensuring every child has the opportunity to thrive. Remember that every child is unique, and recognizing these differences is just the first step in providing the support that they need. Thank you. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel.